station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
First at 11, scenes like this, community spaces filled with people filling their plates, will not happen this Thanksgiving because of COVID-19. But that's not stopping service groups from providing hearty holiday meals to those in need. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker shows how one Thanksgiving tradition is continuing safely as the pandemic continues.
Over the years, Feast of Plenty has provided thousands of meals for those in need on Thanksgiving Day. And while prep for this year looks a little different because of COVID-19, the impact is sure to be the same.
I think everyone would agree where we're at right now in the world with the things that are going on, that it's become more important than ever to have that little ray of hope, right? That little beacon of love.
Joel Hungate is just one of the people who's making sure the event goes smoothly. He has a special connection to it.
We've always thought that we couldn't afford not to do this for the people that we serve. And, we laugh, it's going to take a whole lot more than a global pandemic to stop my mom's vision from continuing to grow and continuing to love on people.
Joel's mom, Lisa Meggie, passed away in January 2016, but her legacy endures through the 15th annual Feast of Plenty, which is named in her honor.
When she started it, they called it the Miracle on Apple Street. And what it was an opportunity where she said, wow, we could just love on our community, provide a little ray of hope on a day when maybe some people don't have a family, to spend Thanksgiving with, don't have a warm meal to look forward to.
Despite not being able to come together like they normally would, Joel tells me they'll still be able to bless families in need and hopefully inspire others to do the same.
And to see a community come together like ours does, where it went from Apple Street in Hancock County to being a beacon of hope in greater kind of East Central Indiana. And to see that it can happen anywhere.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Feast of Plenty will be doing carry-out meals along with delivering them through Hancock County. You have to call ahead for a delivery. You can find the number to call in this story on our app and website.
The pandemic is also not stopping the annual MOZEL Sanders Thanksgiving tradition. For the 49th year, the organization will serve thousands of people this holiday. The challenges created by COVID-19 does mean things will be scaled back. Instead of 20 to 30,000 meals, around 10,000 meals will be served this year. Usually Butler hosts the Thanksgiving Day operations. This year, 16 kitchens will be used.
With several days left, November is now the deadliest month of the pandemic in Indiana, with 1,055 confirmed deaths from COVID-19. At today's weekly briefing, state officials said they know many people plan on ignoring recommendations against large Thanksgiving gatherings. The state health commissioner shared this message in a last-ditch attempt to get Hoosiers to reconsider.
I cannot repeat this enough. Bringing together large groups of people from outside your immediate household puts everyone at risk for COVID-19. Our hospitals are being inundated with COVID patients. There is still time to make the hard choice today so that you can enjoy many more tomorrows with your loved ones.
The nation's top health officials have shared similar messages leading up to Thanksgiving. Despite that, the Transportation Security Administration expects millions of travelers this week. That includes 1 million people today alone. This was the scene at Indianapolis International Airport this evening. We spoke to one traveler who tells WRTV she felt safe flying from Washington, D.C., but Naomi Lindsay says she had to make this trip.
Right now, I'm flying because I need a work visa. So I have to fly, but honestly, the way they've had it in the airports and with the ventilation on the airplanes, I think it's safer to fly than it is to eat inside at a restaurant.
Naomi says she's moving to Russia next week. She flew into Indianapolis to pick up her stuff before leaving the country.
Well, now to the forecast. You can see raindrops on our tower camera, but rain is moving out of central Indiana. WRTV Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now with that Thanksgiving forecast we've all been waiting for, Kevin.
We need time to dry out, don't we? 1.25 inches nearly in Indianapolis. We're left with just some drizzle now. The big picture, the line of rain with some isolated stronger storms now into central portions of Ohio. For us, other than the steady rain in northeast Indiana, we're down to just some drizzle. Looks to me like we've got some showboating going on here. Temperatures during the day tomorrow remain above average, but staying in the lower 50s with a mostly cloudy sky, not too windy, west wind at 10. There's your hourly Thanksgiving forecast. Temperatures push 50 degrees. Cloud cover stays with us with that west wind. We'll talk about the weekend and what appears on Monday and Tuesday in the 7-day forecast will get your attention.
We are working to learn if wet roads played a role in a crash that sent an IMPD officer to the hospital. Investigators say just before 5 o'clock this evening, a car lost control on South Harding Street between Edgewood and Epler and swiped the front of the police cruiser. The officer was taken to IU Health Methodist Hospital and is stable. Well, some people are thankful to be alive tonight after a fire at an apartment on the northwest side. Crews were called to Michigan Road near 53rd Street at around 9 o'clock tonight. Several units are damaged, forcing tenants to find a place to stay on this Thanksgiving Eve. The Red Cross is helping them get temporary housing. There are no reports of injuries.
Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and his wife plan to get tested for COVID later this week. Today, the city announced the Hogsetts are in quarantine after they were in close contact with someone who later tested positive for the virus. Neither have symptoms right now, according to the mayor's office. They plan on remaining in quarantine through December 4th. Governor Eric Holcomb and First Lady Janet Holcomb are also quarantining this week due to possible COVID exposure. They tested negative last week.
A popular neighborhood lined with local restaurants and shops is making an extra effort to help boost businesses this holiday season. The Fountain Square Merchants Association created customer passports for Small Business Saturday. You get a stamp when you visit a locally owned shop and can be entered in a drawing for prizes. Small business owners say their success or failure can have an impact on the whole community.
We've got a great neighborhood, and by shopping local, it gives back to your community, gives back to the neighborhood. So it's really important just to keep all these businesses going.
These businesses start to close, it hurts everybody. It hurts the property values because you're going to have a lot of vacant buildings down here. It's going to hurt the home values because so much is moving out of the area, and it's not going to have that thriving cultural scene that everybody wants to live and enjoy.
American Express predicts that 62% of small business owners need to see consumer spending back at pre-pandemic levels by the end of the year, or they will not survive.
Many Hoosiers are struggling financially as the pandemic continues. At today's state briefing, the Department of Workforce Development addressed questions about delays in unemployment payments.
If we ended up having a system that paid quickly and that we didn't require individuals to jump through a few steps, then fraud would overtake our system. And right now, I think everyone is aware of the amount of fraud that's occurring in the United States right now. Indiana is not one of the states, or is not a state that's left out of that mix. So we're dealing with a lot of the fraud. And we've put in a lot of measures to address fraud. Now, does that slow down our payment process? Absolutely.
Commissioner Fred Payne says the state is paying 80 to 85% of claims within 21 days. Nearly 20,500 Hoosiers filed first-time unemployment claims last week.
There is no economic relief in sight from lawmakers in Washington. Nathaniel Reed with our partners at Newsy reports a deal on a new COVID bill could be delayed until the president-elect takes office.
Months after key provisions of the government's main coronavirus relief act expired, and with more set to expire at the end of the year, there's nothing to see on Capitol Hill but jet fumes. Both chambers recessed for the Thanksgiving holiday, and lawmakers have skipped town.
If there's no further business coming before the Senate, I have to stand adjourned under the previous order.
When they both return, it will be December, and COVID relief won't be the only priority. Congress also needs to agree on and pass multiple bills to fund the government or risk a shutdown.
The country wants us to come together and get something done to deal with this COVID crisis.
Both sides are dug in, with House Democrats hoping to spend at least $1 trillion more in a package more comprehensive than what most Senate Republicans want to pass.
I think we need more PPP. We need money for schools. I hope we can get Mitch and Nancy to go ahead and do a deal that helps us on the PP front.
If a next round COVID relief deal isn't reached by the end of December, it'll fall to the next Congress and likely the incoming Biden administration.
Me casa, you casa.
This week, President-elect Joe Biden met with congressional Democratic leadership in Wilmington, Delaware. But the incoming president's administration might not put Americans any closer to getting extra help. Biden signaling this week he will support Democrats' efforts to pass a big bill, which will continue to stagnate in January if the Senate remains under the control of Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Nathaniel Reed, Newsy, the Capitol.
New and next, Indigo is about more than taking you from here to there. How the agency is doing its part to keep beauty and creativity alive during these difficult times.
A little later, college basketball is back. See where the Boilermakers, Bulldogs, and Hoosiers stand tonight after a long offseason.
WRTV wants to see your holiday cheer. Share a picture of your light display for a chance to win tickets to the Christmas Nights of Light show at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. The contest ends on December 6th. For more information, go to WRTV.com and click on the Contests tab. Your photo could also show up on the WRTV Storm Team forecast at 7 p.m.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
New at 11, art on the go. Indigo, that is. The transportation system is giving artists an opportunity to display their work to audiences across Marion County. WRTV's Cameron Riddle shows it's a chance for artists to make money during this difficult time, but more importantly to some of them, it's a chance to inspire.
Indigo is calling on all artists and offering a paying opportunity to have their work on display all across Indianapolis.
This is an exciting partnership with the Arts Council of Indianapolis to bring local art to Indigo bus stops, shelters, facilities, and really showcase some local artists.
In the year of a pandemic, Indigo's Art in Transit program may be one of the few paying gigs many artists have had in months. C.T. Hankins is an IPS art teacher by day and had his work selected to be on display at 2 different bus stops this year.
I was actually able to make a little bit of profit on this project.
Like many artists, Hankins is not in the industry of art solely for the money. He does it to make people smile and open their eyes to different views of the world. It's an experience you get through his interactive sculpture called A Bit of Me in You, which, before being damaged, was on display at a bus stop on Indy's east side.
We're fed what to imagine. It's very rare that people unplug for a moment and stop looking at social media or TV and they just let themselves dream or daydream. And when that happens, it's like I'm helping these people have a little daydream. And it kind of feels like magic. It's really empowering.
Proposals for visual arts, literary, and performance-based projects are due to Indigo by January 10th, 2021. And at a time when art galleries and museums are battling COVID restrictions, being on display at a bus stop is a showcase that's nearly pandemic-proof.
So many people from all different parts of the city ride Indigo, so it's a great opportunity to have your work seen by lots of people, lots of riders, and also folks driving or walking down the street.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
To apply, the artist must be Marion County residents and be at least 18 years old. You can submit your proposed idea online at indigo.net/art. Kevin.
11:16. I bet it smells good in many households across central Indiana. We were talking earlier this evening during the news, Amanda. Remember, we were saying that today's probably a day of baking. Tomorrow is cooking, and Judy Games shared this picture. Our guess is.
I'm thinking it's cherry pie.
Cherry pie.
It looks delicious. It looks beautiful.
What's better than one pie? 2.
Oh, goodness.
My eyes were drawn to the one on the right. That's apple crumb. You gotta love
Yum. I just wish with the photos we got a slice too.
Well, you can get the whole pie. Thank you, Minnie Fincham, for sharing that as well. During the day tomorrow, temperatures there's pretty much stuck. Upper 40s to maybe low 50s. Lots of cloud cover around, but dry. could have some drizzle first thing in the morning, but if you're traveling around the state, it should be much easier than today, no doubt. Temperatures, they'll be in the upper 40s to the north. We did manage the middle to upper 50s today before the rain swept through. Temperature 51 during the afternoon in Indy, about 53 in Seymour and Columbus. Appreciate these temperatures because we'll take the 3 and put it before the 5 early next week as much colder air returns. Friday, what's the difference between tomorrow and Friday? Basically just a little more cloud cover to end the week. Temperature by noon Friday 46, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, 53 degrees during the afternoon. There are all the clouds on Friday morning. We'll just have to be patient. Then you see the cloud cover starting to break apart. It won't be perfectly sunny, but we'll take whatever sunshine kind of beams through. Temperatures Friday from the upper 40s to low to mid 50s. Here's your weekend. A little cooler Saturday, but a lot more sunshine. Sunday, 50 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. This is what you find interesting for Monday and Tuesday. The colder side of a weather system will bring a rain-snow mix Monday and some snow showers. It looks like on Tuesday may be enough for some light accumulation. The average date for our first accumulating snow is the 19th. And so we're running a little behind on that. 39 your high on Monday, 33 Tuesday with that potential for the light snow and snow showers. 7-day forecast, put it together for you tomorrow. Not a bad day at all. Fairly comfortable temperature, 51. We're dry through Sunday, then Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday is when we start to turn a little more winter-like. Temperatures down into the 20s Tuesday and Wednesday morning, but 3 days in a row next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, where temperatures are in the 30s for highs. That's well below average for this time of the year. Amanda?
Oh, that's going to be a shock to the system. Thank you, Kevin. Well, if you can afford to give back this holiday season, we hope you will consider donating to the WRTV Toy Drive. You can drop off new unwrapped gifts at several used store locations. We will also be collecting items at Indianapolis area Simon Malls on December 5th. For more info, go to WRTV.com/Toy Drive.
As holiday shopping gets underway, small toy stores say it's more important than ever to think of them. Scripps reporter Thomas Huppaugh explains why.
Yeah, coming into a toy store, it's always, it takes you back to your own childhood. You kind of forget about the mortgage. You kind of forget about all the other woes that adults tend to gather. And so you come in and you're just instantly reminded of a puzzle you made, a game you played with your family when you were little.
Toy shops are more of a relic these days.
You just find unique stuff here that you wouldn't find at a big box store, so it's kind of fun to check out what's different.
Yeah, the toy store we opened in 1995, and so we've been around for, I guess it's 20 years now. Let's see, 25.
For the past 5 years, they've had to compete with online competition meccas like Amazon. But still, you could find a few around the country like this one. Little Richard's.
There aren't a lot of toy stores left, really. Some of the big toy businesses, of course, are gone.
So that's been another really popular one.
Normally, we're packed. We're about 60% of our normal business right now.
But we're down, 25, 30, probably 50% for Christmas. It's not what we would normally expect.
Richard, the owner, while quarantining due to COVID, has felt some of the pandemic struggles to his toy shop.
And when you're a toy store, you live for Christmas. Christmas is the time of the year when you really do sometimes 60% of your sales. And so we are hopeful that it's going to be a pretty good one, but it's going to be a very different one than it has been in the past.
According to the market research firm MPD Group, small toy store struggles have come even as toy sales grew by 19% through September. The reason why is because businesses adapted, like Richard's.
We are changing our toy store model to being online. We used to joke, and when people call up and say, "Are you online?" and we would say, "No, we're here in the store, and you should come by and see us." But now we have changed our model, and I think small businesses, small retail stores all over the country have done this.
Out of 1,800 independent toy stores and gift boutique owners surveyed by a group called Alignable, nearly half of them say they are worried they may not make enough this holiday season to stay in business. 36% of those believe they will make enough just to get by, which is why Richard says it's more important than ever to shop local this year.
Much more of the dollar you spend locally stays local. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, but every small business does.
I'm Thomas Hoppo reporting.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Indianapolis will have to wait a few years to host the NBA All-Star Game. Today, the league and the Pacers announced next year's game will not happen at Bankers Life Fieldhouse as planned. Instead, Indianapolis will host the festivities in 2024. The NBA schedule will be different this season after the pandemic delayed the end of last season.
Last season ended sooner than anyone expected, and this season was up in the air for many weeks. But college basketball's Division I teams finally got underway tonight. Butler and IU at home, Purdue playing down south. Brad Brown has a recap of Wednesday's action.
Hinkle Fieldhouse would normally have been packed with around 9,000 fans tonight, but just around 1,500 for this season opener. BU taking on Western Michigan, close game most of the night. Bryce Golden scores on the move in the first half. Bryce Enzi with the assist. Butler led by 6 at halftime. Aaron Thompson led the scoring for the Bulldogs, 21 points. He was 8 of 11 from the free throw line. He also had 4 assists to go with it. A strong final 8 minutes helped BU pull away. Jair Bolden also playing his first game for the Dogs, 2 of his 15 points. Western closed the gap late, but Butler holds on for the 66-62 win, the 22nd straight home opener victory for Butler.
We knew that coming into the game that we didn't have any exhibition games, so we knew we had to lock in and practice and lock in on things that is going to help us win. Not just things that we want to do, but things that Coach explains to us is going to let us win.
Purdue's season was supposed to start in Cancun. Instead, the Space Coast Challenge in Melbourne, Florida. And 7'4" freshman Zach Edey making a big impact in the first half. The early and one, Edey was a force inside the entire game. Purdue led by 7 at the half. Travion Williams never really got dialed in at the offensive end. He did get loose a couple times in the second half. 7 points and 11 rebounds for the junior, but Edey was the headliner in his first game wearing the black and gold. How about 19 points, 9 of 10 shooting from the field, 5 rebounds to go with it. Purdue's biggest big man led the Boilers scoring in the 77-64 win.
Have you surprised yourself at all with how ready you seem to be for this?
Not at all. It all came just from the practice, really, just every day, banging with guys like Trey, pushing me and me pushing myself to be ready for this moment, so not really surprised.
Meanwhile, IU opened at an empty Assembly Hall. Hoosiers taking on Tennessee Tech. A 20-0 run put the game away early. Trace Jackson Davis scored on 3 straight possessions in one stretch. He had 26 points and 11 rebounds as well. IU's freshman got some good minutes in the opener. Trey Galloway scoring on the break. He had 13 points in 19 minutes. Indiana cruises to the 89-59 win. Hoosiers shoot 56% from the field in a good first tune-up.
It'll be interesting to watch the film. I mean, it's the first game we've played since March 11th. I mean, we haven't had a scrimmage, no exhibition games. It's the first time you ever made a substitution where your team sort of wants to look around and see who's getting in first. I mean, it's different, but we got it out of the way, and I'm happy about that. And I'm glad college basketball is back up and running. It's a good thing.
Ball State falls in its opener by 1 at Northern Kentucky. Cards had a 5-point lead slip away in the second half. KJ Walton led Ball State with 28 points. BSU plays at Michigan next Wednesday. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
The wind will continue to relax as we go through the overnight hours, generally around 10 miles per hour during the day tomorrow, but those are some of the gusts. We have some drizzle now, and that should be ending as we go into the morning hours tomorrow. Be patient, though. I think we'll have a mostly cloudy day, 51 for the high. Friday, 53 with more sunshine, and the sunniest of sunny days will be Saturday. Mostly sunny and 47. Amanda?
Looks nice. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for making WRTV your choice for news. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.